Hello everybody and welcome to Web Enhancing Your Course. I'm Tracy Derringer and this is what this workshop is all about. What we're going to learn today is about getting started, whether it's an online course or web enhanced or hybrid, it doesn't matter. So you can use this material in all of your courses. We're going to present a basic Blackboard primer. So if you haven't been in Blackboard before, this will be a good place to start. Going to look at the organization of your materials. We're going to demonstrate steps to create a web enhanced course and then look at maybe what is next. So we'll go down here to the definition of web enhanced. Basically, web enhanced is just a class that meets regularly, a traditional class. It is in the classroom, but there's materials online that you give the students, but you still have the class going. So for instance, every one of my courses that I taught were web enhanced. So, for example, my accounting classes, I would put my PowerPoints up there. I would put pre-chapter quizzes up there. I would put any announcements in there, and the students were responsible for doing that. I put the syllabus in there, because syllabus always goes in there. In other classes, I would put more. For instance, in my economics classes, we had to do discussion handouts that went through the chapters. And so in that, students were required to go into Blackboard and actually download those discussions. I didn't have to deal with them. I didn't print them out or anything. So that's an example. And the online activities vary. It totally depends on what your class is and what your requirements are for the class. And you're going to let the students know the very first day of class, because web enhanced courses aren't shown on the class schedules because you have the total flexibility of using it. So I want to, you've heard the terms web enhanced, hybrid, online, all of these. Well, this little video here is a demonstration of what the difference is between these. And it actually has music, but it's not working, and that's fine. So they call the hybrid blended. So on-ground classes are the face-to-face, just like a regular class. So lectured, days and times, specific classrooms, attendance is required. Web enhanced, you still have that same thing. Lectures, specific time and day, specific classrooms, attendance is required, but there's an extra online component. Videos is a big thing for putting online. Online classes is 100% online, accessible all the time. Right. So it requires time management and organization skills, because this is what the students, they have to set their own schedules. And so totally online classes, they are responsible, the students are responsible for getting into the class and actually doing the work without being in the classroom. And finally, the blended courses, we call them hybrid courses. They have an online and face-to-face. The class time is determined by the instructor, and there's a benefit from meeting classmates. There's time for collaboration, face-to-face interaction with instructor. What we do with the hybrid courses, and this is calling it the blended courses, is we have between 1/3 and 2/3 of the class online, and then the rest is in the classroom. So you don't have to have as much seat time. So if you have a 3-credit class, and you decide to put it on hybrid, you might meet only once a week and make the students do all the rest of the stuff online. That's an example. But and it may not work for you in your classes that you are specifically doing. All right, I got this from Kansas City Community College. All right, so this part is the Blackboard primer, and in the Blackboard primer, the first thing you want to do is actually get into Blackboard. And when you're in Blackboard, you're going to see a list of your classes. I'm in my institution. I didn't choose courses. And I have the last several courses that I have taught, and then also those that I have access to. And so you will click on your specific course that you want to have. I am going to get into my Sandbox. Hold on, maybe I don't have that open. All right, I'm going to get in the Sandbox, and this, so Eric, you'll be interested in this. In the Sandbox, or in any course shell that you have not been in yet, this is exactly what it looks like. It starts at announcements. Everything on the left is kind of light. Eric, you don't have that because you're in the CITL, but as soon as your classes go in the schedule, you will have these shells and you can get started on them anytime. Oh, excellent, excellent. So what class is that you have in there? Oh, good, good. So yeah, you can work in there, and of course, whatever you put in there, if you don't want it, you can always delete it. And so on the left-hand side of this is your toolbar, and these are the things that the students see. These are the things that you can, this is how you will navigate around in your I guess, course shell. The things that the students will use that you will want to have available, obviously the home page, the announcements, perhaps the learning modules, depending on how you set it up, the discussions, assessments, and probably email. I don't like messages. What messages do is the student can send you a message, but it is in Blackboard and you never see it anywhere else. And I do not like that because I never go in and check those. And so I usually take that out of there because I don't like it. The email, if students email, then it actually comes to your Sheridan.edu email address. And what I use this for more than anything is to email all my students. And I don't have to know their email addresses or anything. It's whatever email address they have in the system, and that's where it goes to. Actually, most of them will be the Sheridan.edu address. So though, and of course the students will use my grades. And there are these other things, you know, the help, the resources, the online orientation, and the student help zone. The rest of these items down here at the bottom, course management, that is as a developer or an instructor, we have access to that. All right, any questions on that so far? All right, so let's go to the home page. When you have, well, I guess it depends on the class, but with the web enhancing class, the home page is normally the start place for all of it every time. And so on that home page, what's the very first thing that you do in your class? The very first day that you meet, what do you normally do?
Introduce yourself and your students.
Okay, introduce self and students.
Share the syllabus.
Syllabus. Yes, we'll do that first. All right. Well, yeah, we introduce ourselves, which would be good, and I'll show you a place where I have that set up. So, and you go over the syllabus the first day. So this is how you create your syllabus, just like you do any document. So Eric, have you started working on your syllabi? Oh, no, probably not, because you don't know what classes you're teaching.
No, but I haven't.
Okay, yeah, so all you have to do is modify those, so that'll be nice. So this is how you put a syllabus on. And I highly recommend you put it on the home page. So you go to where it says build content, and it brings a menu up. And anytime you just want to put a file up there that students can access, you choose File. And then you will, where it says Find File, you'll browse your computer. And you find your file. And so, let's see, mine's a syllabus, so I better go find my syllabi. And I will put my mining one in here. Maybe I'll put a finance one. Now, here's the deal with the finance. Oh, that's an old one. Or any of these. Maybe I'll put personal finance. Anytime you put a document in there, it's highly recommended that you save those as PDF files, because then the students will be able to see the file without having Word or whatever program that you require. So I'll do this one. So after I have created my syllabus, so you see I have my mining economics syllabus that I created in Word, and then I have saved it as a PDF file. So you choose your file, you upload it, you give it some kind of a name. So the students don't necessarily, well, I guess they do see this name, but that's not what they would see to click on. So you could put in course syllabus, something like that. You can create or you can use a different color if you don't like black, or you can just leave it as it is. I'm a blue fan. I like blue. Now, here's the other thing that I would recommend you do with these. I would recommend you open it in a new window. That way it actually opens as a PDF file and not in Blackboard. Once you do that, oh, and you want to permit users to view this content. I don't track the number of views, but you can. If you want to restrict any dates, you can. Once I put stuff up there, unless it's a quiz or something, I don't restrict any dates. That's just too much of a pain. Once you have all those set, just click Submit. And there it is. It's in whatever, it's in whatever color you have chosen, and it is in the title that you've chosen. So when you click on it, or when the students click on it, it will open. Mine is over here. It'll open, and so they'll be able to see it. It's just a regular document. The reason I really like PDF is so that way they can't change it. And I highly recommend you do that. That's another reason I like PDF. All right. Any questions on that one? Okay. The next part of this class, the next objective was, one of the things you can do right here, and it's personal choice. Most of these are personal choice, but I'm just kind of showing you some of the basics. One of the personal choices you have is to change the name of your home page. I always do that. I always change the name of my home page to say whatever class it is. And then I'll say home page. So I'll just call it Mining Economics Home Page. And so up here it shows Mining Economics Home Page. Over here it shows Mining Economics Home Page. I like to see what class I'm in all the time because I have so many classes sometimes I forget where I am. And the students do too. Because if they're taking 5 classes, every one of them may be web enhanced. And actually, even if they're not web enhanced, I think they still have access to it, whether the teacher has set it up or not. All right. So the next part deals with how do you organize your materials? And this is something that you really need to look at ahead of time. Well, how do I want these materials to look? And it is personal preference. So I'm going to show you some examples that I have personally that I have used in the past. Here's a class that I taught for several years, Managerial Finance. It was a face-to-face class, and it was web enhanced, and this is how I set it up. I had the syllabus, I had a folder for the PowerPoint files, I had a folder for Excel, I had some test check figures, and then I would put my focus sheet on here. I would, of course, I have my announcements, and I put some of those things over there. And so when you go into each of these folders, you would see the PowerPoint files for each one of those chapters that we covered in the class. Or if you went into the Excel files, you would see the files that they could have used to help them do their homework. And then the check figures, I actually put in check figures for them because this is a junior level class and they are just, they needed some reinforcement, I guess. So anyway, that is one way to set it up, where you put certain particular type of files into folders and separate it that way. Another way you can do it, and people are doing it this way, is, let's see, how do I want to do this? No, that's Eric's folder. All right, another way to do it, and this one is a total online class, is, I need to change this, set it up in weeks. And the thing about setting it up in weeks is you have everything that's required for that week in one place. So it'll have whatever you want to start with, your overview, your assignments, your quizzes, whatever they are, all of those in the same, in the weeks. Now the nice thing about these is every single week in mine look alike. Every week looks alike. There's a start here, there's a discussion, there's a quiz, and then there's an exercise or an assignment. Students like, what do I want to say? They like structure. It's very, very difficult for students sometimes to find things if it's not structured very well. So be consistent. They love consistency. So whether you put it in weekly lessons or put it in folders, as long as it's logical, the students will be able to find it. But that's the first thing you want to do, is determine how you want it to set up. Here is an example. This example is Kevin Fox's safety class, and it's going to be a hybrid class, but he has it set up pretty well. So he has all these things on his home page, and then he has his weekly stuff set up in his learning modules, and he has folders, and every single folder is going to have, oh, he has separate folders here. Let me go back. Introduction to Safety. So every single folder that he has some kind of overview, and he has his assignments and so on. And this one also has videos. Let me show you some videos. Eye safety, we'll go into that. So every single folder, an overview, a video, a quiz, and an assignment. Every single folder of his is exactly the same. An overview, a video, a quiz, and an assignment. And so he's put most of that online. Actually, that's looking pretty good. All right, let's see. So the next thing, what I'm going to do now is just give you some examples of other things that you can put onto your shell. All right, so we put a syllabus on there. I'll show you how to create folders. I will show you how to create links. I'll show you how to create an assignment, and then we'll see what else we want to create. All right. How you doing, Eric? You all right? Excellent. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we put our syllabus on there. And then what we want to do is we want to create a folder. So show you how to create a folder. That's also under Build Content. So pull down Build Content and choose Content Folder. Content folder is just kind of like a folder on your computer where you store similar items. So maybe we want a folder that says PowerPoints. So perhaps we want a folder where all the PowerPoint files are kept together, or all the assignments are kept together, or all the videos, or the tests, or whatever they are. And so if you want to put an explanation here, you can. So this folder contains the PowerPoint presentations for each chapter in the class. I mean, that's just an example. Permit users to use it, and that really is all there is. You can change the color of the words if you want. But then I submit. Now you have a folder. And so then you can open this folder and you have a blank page. That's really all it is. It's just another page where you can put your materials. So in your PowerPoints, if you already have PowerPoints saved and you want to load them, oops, I hit the wrong button. Build content and file. So it's just like loading a syllabus, except this happens to be a PowerPoint file. I'm going to browse my computer and I'm going to find it on there. So I'm going to find my mining economics, all 214. All right, let's do this. I have chapter 1314 PPX. All right, so I put that on there, chapter 1314. Now, I don't have to put that it's a PowerPoint because it's already in the PowerPoint folder. If you want to put PowerPoint, you can. I have it open in a new window. I always choose that if I remember. And then I submit. Now, this is another one where my why did it show up there? I swear I was here. Oh, I know why. See, this is what happens when you hit the wrong button. I'm going to move this. It didn't go in the PowerPoint folder because I accidentally got into soft chalk. But this is what's nice. Make a mistake, you can either delete it or you can start over. All right, so this is what you have in your PowerPoint folder. And so when you do the PowerPoints, I highly recommend that you save those as PDF also. And then the students can access that. Oops. Where is my PowerPoint file? Yeah, my computer, I think I have maxed it out. I have so many windows open. So it's my, here's my PowerPoint file, and so the students then can get in and actually see that file. All right. Any questions on that? Another thing that you can do, I'm going to go back to the home page. So here's the nice thing about navigating in Blackboard. On the left-hand side, you can navigate that way, or if you just want to go back one page, right up here, right up below the gray top, is the page before, and so you'll know where you are, and it will take you back one place. I highly recommend, my mouse goes crazy when I don't have one actually hooked up. I highly recommend you do not hit the back button. Try to avoid to hit the back button in Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever program you are using. I would recommend using the navigation tools here, either on the left-hand side or in this navigation bar up above. All right, so I want you to practice. I want you to create another folder on your home page. So I will create one, and then I'm going to call it videos. Actually, I'm going to call it something else. Coal-Age. No, I will call it videos. And this, we're not actually uploading videos. And I would highly recommend you not upload videos because they are extremely large most of the time, and they take up all your room because you are given so much room in Blackboard. And if you take all that up, they get really cranky. I don't know if it shuts down or not, but don't actually upload the videos. You will upload the link. So this folder contains the videos necessary for this class. All right. Eric, did you get a folder created? Excellent. You're great. All right, so go into that folder and I'll show you how to do web links. So I used web links all the time in my international business. And the web links, I had them go into different companies, for instance, that will dealing internationally. I had them look at like the World Trade Organization website. Every single week they had a minimum of 2 websites that they went to. And so this is what's really nice about that is I didn't have to actually copy that stuff and save it. All I had to do was find the site and then just copy the URL. So I have a site, because this is mining economics, I have a site called coalage.com. Coalage.com, I'm a business teacher, started teaching mining economics, and coalage.com has become my favorite website. I am here all the time. I'm learning so much about coal, and every time I come in here, because I've taught this for 3 years, I learn something new. Anyway, what you do when you find the website is you highlight the web address and you copy it. And so I'll just do a Control-C to copy, or you can do your right-click and copy. And then you go to your Blackboard, and this is where you do it. Build content and web link. So you click on web link, and you'll give it a name, and this name will be Coalage. Coalage, and I'll just call it Coalage website. And the URL, that's the one that has to be exactly like it is on the internet, and so I did a Control-V, so you're going to paste that in there. So paste whatever your web link was. You can give it a description. This link contains the archived issues of Coal-Age magazine. And submit. So this is what it looks like. Anytime you do a web link, this is the actual icon that it gives you. So you can tell the difference between a file. Let me go back and show you what a file link looks like, or file height. So a file looks like this, whereas a web link has the little globe on it. So when I click on it, and this is what I highly recommend you do, always test your websites. Make sure you're really going to the right place. And I am, so I'm a happy girl. All right, questions on that? All right. Now, the next part I want to do is create assignment. And it completely depends on your structure that you have set up. Some have them in assessments. I just put them into a folder. Mine are all in weeks, but maybe I'll I went back to the home page, and perhaps what I will do is build another content folder and call it assignments. And again, every instructor can set their course up however they want, but be consistent in where you put all of the information. So this folder contains the assignments for each chapter. All right, because you don't want everything on the home page. That would just be too much. So you want to, it'd be like having everything in your root drive of your computer. You'd never be able to find anything. So I'll go into the assignments folder, and this is where you create an assignment. Now, an assignment is, it doesn't matter what kind of assignment it is: accounting, math, a written paper, a lab, an Excel spreadsheet. In my economics class, they have written papers, they have Excel spreadsheets, they have, they're looking at data and analyzing it, that kind of thing. So it really doesn't matter what kind of assignment it is, but this is where you do this. You go to assessments and you choose assignment. Now this one is a little bit more detailed because there's a whole bunch more to deal with this. You have to give it a name. So whatever that name is, whether it's peer review, or if it's a lab from chapter 1, or chapter 1 written assignment, something like that. I'll just call it chapter 1 assignment. And my assignments always have names. Analyze data. I'll just say that. Now, here's the thing with the assignments. You have two choices. One, you can put all the instructions here in the instructions, or you can actually have all your instructions in the browse in a file and attach that. So it doesn't matter. You do not have to have your instructions right here. The students will see that right away, but perhaps you can see maybe if you have it in a file, there's no sense in repeating, especially if you have big instructions. So please click on the attached file to see the requirements. How's that? And then you browse your computer. If it's a short assignment and the and the actual, let's get this out of here, and the assignment instructions aren't very big, then use the instructions there. That's not a problem. But okay, one of my assignments is average versus marginal cost. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It shows up down here, and so I've attached it there, so they'll be able to open that. The points possible, give it however many points are possible, and it is required. If it's an assignment that has 0 points, it's okay. You can put 0 points in there. That's perfectly acceptable. Availability, if you want the students to go ahead and see it, and I do, any of my regular assignments, that doesn't matter because they can work ahead if they want. If you don't want them working ahead, then put a restriction on it. And then you also have choice. Can they attempt to do this one time? Does it matter how many? Or they can attempt to do it over and over and over? Or can they do it 3 times, for instance? Whatever it is, I always just allow a single attempt, unless they messed up, and then I'll open it up and tell them that they can resubmit it. And if you want to limit the availability, then you'll have to tell it to display it after a certain date and time. I always put due dates in here. So my due dates, maybe the due date for this assignment is December 1st at midnight. And you can change that, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock in the morning. If your class starts at 10 o'clock and you want it done before class, then have it due at 9:59. I always did that for my preview or my pre-chapter quizzes for my classes, because they were supposed to take it before we actually covered the chapter. So I had that due, and then they couldn't submit it anymore. And once you're done with that, click Submit. And this is what the students see. They see the name of the assignment, they see the file, and they see the instructions, however long those are. And so when a student goes in, this is what they're going to see. This is what the students see. They see this assignment, they see when it's due, how many points are possible. Here's the file, okay, the instructions, here's the file. Open the file, and here's my example, and they have to do whatever they have to do, they have to fill out all of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. They have to do that, and they can't just do it by hand. They actually have to calculate. They have to put in formulas. But they'll open this, they will fill it out, they will save it, and then what they will do is they will attach their file. So, browse my computer, they'll attach their file. Dang. Oh no, you don't have access to my Sandbox, do I? All right, I'll show you what this looks like in my mining economics class, my actual class, because it's going right now, what it looks like. But they will submit their file. I can't, because you can't grade your own assignment. But this is what the student will do. And then if they aren't sure they really want to do this, they can save it as a draft, or they can submit it. I'm going to cancel it because I don't want to do that. But I want to show you also, once you have created an assignment and given it points, scroll down, all the way down to the bottom. On the left, there's the Grade Center. And in the Grade Center, if you click on that and choose Full Grade Center, it will have put that assignment in there. Here, and I don't have any students in there, so that's why it looks like this. There's my Chapter 1 assignment right there. It automatically puts it in there. So when you grade, and let me show you what this is going to look like. I think there. When you grade, once they submit, I choose Needs Grading. And here are the assignments that need grading in my economics class. They're not all in yet. And so that's what's really nice, is once you put these in here and they have points attached, and you tell it that, if it's an assignment, and once they submit it, it's going to show up in the needs grading, and you can tell it grade all users. You can even grade it anonymously, so you do not know whose paper it is, and that helps maintain the objectivity. But whatever number you give this student automatically transfers to the grading center. It's automatic. So you don't have to remember to put those grades in that grade book. I like that. Like that a lot. Now, I can't do that here because confidentiality. I can't show you the grade book in my mining economics class, but I can show it to you here that has no students in it. All right. Questions on the assignments. I'll go back to the home page. Oops. Assignments. Home page. There we go. Any questions, Eric? You okay? Excellent. You're a quick learner. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of you. Another item that you may or may not want to put in here, and I did, because once you have it set up, the computer grades it for you depending on what it is, are tests. So maybe I will put, maybe I'm going to make a content folder for quizzes. Give it a little explanation. This folder contains the quizzes for each chapter. All right. Now, quizzes, tests, whatever they are, they're kind of a pain to make, but once they're made, they are so nice to have. They are so nice. So I will open my quizzes folder, and this is how you make a test. So you choose assessments, and you choose test. And we haven't created any tests, and so we're going to create a new test. And you have to give it a name. So, Chapter 1 Quiz. You can put the description, you can put instructions, and so what I did in mine was I said in some of them, like a preview quiz, I'd say, okay, you need to do this before whatever day is due, before we start covering the chapter, and you have 15 minutes to complete it. And it's 10 questions worth 5 points. And so that's what I always put in there, but you don't necessarily have to. So I submit, and here is your template. It's a blank canvas is what they call it, a test canvas. So you would see the description you put in there, you would see the instructions, how many questions and how many total points. So we'll create a question, and I will show you what kind of questions. I'm going to pull this up a little bit. All right, these are all the types of questions you can create. A calculated formula, a numeric, either or, essay. The ones that I have used, I've used essay. I've worked with faculty who have fill in the blank. I've worked with faculty for matching. I actually have multiple answer, which is a multiple choice, but it has more than one answer. And of course, multiple choice, short answer, and then true and false. So when you do this, if we want to do, what do you want to do, Eric? You're not going to make a test? Whoa, what kind of question did you make? Did you do that as an essay? Fill in the blank. All right, what's your answer to the secret of the universe? All right, when you do this, I always leave the question title blank. I still have no idea why the question title is there. I've never used it. It seems like redundancy to me because the questions are numbered. And so you put your question in here. What is the secret to the universe? Is that what your question was? Has to be one answer, exact match. And here's my answer. Oh wait, where is my answer? answer. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see my little thing. So what's the answer to this, Eric? 42. 42. Okay. So if you want to create another one, another fill in the blank, that's how you do it. Otherwise you submit. And it automatically gives it 10 points. You can change that. If this is what I have done. I give multiple choice, essay, and short answer on almost every single one of my tests that I have given in the past. Multiple choice, essay, short answer. So my multiple choice were all worth 2 points. My essays were worth 5 points. And my short answers were worth 2 points. And so I can choose that. If I want to choose my question type, if I had multiple choice in there, I'd choose multiple choice. And then I'd put how much each one is worth. And that way you don't have to change it every time. But your tests automatically show up as 10 points each. And so I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it 100 points because this is really important, the secret of the universe. It's an all or nothing. If they don't know the answer is 42, they're in trouble.
Okay.
I would have flunked this test. I didn't know. So once you have it all set up, then you choose OK. Then it comes back to that test. Choose your quiz or your test. Click Submit. And this is where you put in all the relevant information. Make this link available. We'll say yes. If you want an announcement for it, you can do that, and it'll send an announcement. It'll put it in the announcements. I never do that. They're supposed to know what they're supposed to do. If you want to give it time, you'd set the timer, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour and a half, whatever it is. You can restrict the display time. Always put a due date. Well, you don't have to always put a due date. I always do. Due date. We'll put that December 1st also at 11:59. You can restrict it, totally restrict it, where students can't even open the test if the due date has passed. I don't usually do that. I kind of give a forgiveness policy, but it better be a darn good reason. And then I might take points off. If you want them to see the answers, then you would click these. And if you don't want them to see them until after the due date, you can say after due date. Oh, after due date. And I'll see the correct answer. All right. If you want to randomize the questions, you can. We have one question. That's not going to work too well. All right, so once you have this quiz, note how it looks. It has an X and a check, so a wrong and a right. And so this is what the students will see. It tells the rules. Test can be saved, resumed later. It's due on December 1st. Click begin. All right, and here's your test. What's the secret to the universe? 42. And it will have save answer instead of save and submit until you get to the very last one. So I'll just save and submit. I'll say OK. So this is what it gives me. Click OK to view the results. Oh, OK is down here. I always forget that. And I got 100 out of 100. Yay! Of course, Eric, if you had not told me the answer, I would have gotten a 0 out of the 100. All right. Now, also, I don't know, because I'm not a student, it won't show in the Grade Center, but you see Chapter 1 quizzes in here too. So every time you create a quiz or a test, an assignment, a discussion, those will show up in the Grade Center. All right, there's one more thing I want to show you how to create. and it's in the discussion. You may or may not, for a web enhanced course, you may not have discussions. I did in my international business because I always made them look at different websites and they had to discuss what they found on the website. And they had to do that before class. So if you have a hybrid or if you have a online, these are required. For web enhanced, they are not, but they're kind of nice to have. Every single course I have, online course, the very first discussion forum I have is a Q&A where students can come in and they can ask a question about the course itself, and all students can see that. So they may have the very same question. It's like asking a question in class. Well, I cannot find the UCU program. Where is it? That's the last one I had. And then I also had one that says, I can only see the first page of the assignment. I can't see the second page. That was instructor boo-boo. I only uploaded the first page, so I had to go redo the second page, but that's kind of nice. So in the discussions, to do a discussion, you just create a forum, and we'll call this, normally in the very first thing that you do in any kind of online or hybrid, introduction of it. Okay, I'm going to call it greetings and introductions. Greetings and introductions. Or if we wanted it to be a Q&A, you might go ahead and put that. And put it whatever your description is. So, please introduce yourself and answer the following questions. Who you are, where do you work, what is your major, why are you taking the class, give one unique quality about yourself. I love that because they come up with some really interesting things. One person said, I don't have anything unique, I'm just boring. Okay, if you want them graded, I always have my discussions graded, and they're usually like worth 10 points. But what they have to do is they have to answer the discussion question, and then they have to reply to 2 other students. So they get, it will show up in my grade needs grading as soon as they have 3 posts, and then I can grade it. If you want a due date, you can put a due date in there, and we'll put that as December 3rd. And then I just leave all the rest of that stuff. So what the students will see when they come in is they will see this, exactly what I have typed in there. And they'll open this, and the first one in there is going to be blank. So whoever gets in there first, they create the first thread, and then they put their message. Tracy Derringer introduction. And then they type their stuff. And so on and so forth. Thank you for reading this stuff. Okay. If you have a file that you want to attach, so this is what the students would do. You can do this also. And I do respond to students depending, well, in my Web Enhanced class, I always responded to the students. In the online class, I may respond as a whole, but I tell them, I do read every single one of yours, and I will let them know what I thought about them, whether in an announcement or even in a discussion. If they get off base, then I'll go back in and say, you might want to rethink that because it's really this and this and this. For instance, in my, I think, personal finance class, they had to come up with some kind of a business, maybe that was intro to business, they had to come up with some kind of business that wasn't in their community and how it would be able to benefit the community. And a lot of them would say, some of them would say, I would have some kind of a restaurant or a coffee shop or something like that, and I would give whatever food I have left to the food bank or the homeless shelter, and I'd have to write back and say, you can't believe the restrictions that they have, that you cannot do that. It has to be canned, or it has to be frozen. It can't be already cooked stuff, and which is kind of sad, but I can understand their restrictions. So I would answer those. You could spend days and days doing all of these. So the final part of this is, because all these are in here, I've gone through every one of those, is what's next. So once you have this set up, you can use this from semester to semester. And once you get going on it, then you can work with Stony or Susan or myself to show how you can copy it. So Eric, what you can do, you already have your instruments, tools and instruments. So you can start building your class in there, and then when you teach your class the next time, you can just do a course copy, and you don't have to start all over. You'd have to change some things, like update your syllabus and then change your due dates, but otherwise you don't have to completely redo this. And that's the nice thing, is all of this is going to already be set up, and you don't have to start all over. If you decide that you would rather have a hybrid and go one step further and have a hybrid, then you can just take that information that you have and expand on it. And then finally, you can take that course shell and completely go online if that is as a choice that you have. So that is all I have to cover. So thank you. I'm going to stop this recording. F10.